Back at the barn one more time this weekend. Welcome back into the George S. Eccles Ice Arena. I'm Stockton Jukes with you for Utah State hockey. A little bit late start tonight between the Aggies and the Argonauts out of Great Falls, Montana. University of Providence in the building tonight. Familiar foe for Utah State over the last couple years. Really looking forward to getting this one started between two quality teams in the MWCHL. Again, a little bit of a delayed start tonight. You can see out there the Zamboni is still going around after warm-ups. We did have a delayed start to warm-ups, and basically our pregame procession has been set back a good 20 minutes because we had some youth hockey on the ice until about 6:30 here at the Eccles. Obviously, a lot of hockey activity in Cache Valley all comes through this building. So the Cache Valley Wild were having their practice, it looked like, and they managed to get off the ice around 6:30. Expecting puck drop in about 10 minutes here as the Zambonis just finishing up the last couple laps around the rink. And just to preview this game for everyone, it was a 5-2 win for Providence a few weeks back in Great Falls. Feeling in the Aggie locker room was that game was a lot closer than that scoreboard said, and it did stay pretty tight throughout that game until the end of the game when Providence was able to run away with it. So the Aggies looking for a bit of revenge here on home ice, and they've been stellar at the Eccles this season. Only one loss in a shootout. They've also got a win in a shootout, an overtime win 2 nights ago, a dominant 6-1 win against Montana last night. And it's been a real good building for these Aggies to be in. If you're listening or watching from around Cache Valley, I encourage you to get out here to the Eccles. You've got time to make it over here before puck drop, and even if you are a little late into the first period, there's always time and space for everyone at the Eccles. So stick with us here. We're going to take a quick break until after the national anthem. When we come back, we'll get you started with the starting lineups and the beginning of Utah State versus Providence. This is ACHA M2 hockey from the George S. Eccles Ice Arena on Utah State Hockey's YouTube channel. It's time for more Utah State hockey from the George S. Eccles Ice Arena. I'm Stockton Jukes with you for a big matchup between the Utah State Aggies and the Providence Argonauts out of Great Falls, Montana. It was 5-2 last time these two teams met up about 3-4 weeks ago in Montana. The Aggies looking for revenge after playing that game close for about 45 minutes. Really ran away from them at the end. And vibe from the locker room, vibe from the bench for Utah State tonight is they play better than that. They can play better than that. And they expect a better game tonight against a really good fellow MWCHL squad. Stockton Jukes again with you here on the Utah State Hockey YouTube channel. We appreciate you tuning in from wherever you may be. Also, shout out to our beer leaguers. As you may know, this game delayed about 22 minutes for puck drop due to some youth hockey practice that was going on here at the Eccles. So those beer leaguers, man, it's going to be a late night for you guys. Face-off won by Providence. We're underway. Your starting lineup for the Providence Argonauts: Chris Fines, Brett Jansen, Zach Fulton, Fabian Vick, and Adam Husley. Going the other way, the Aggies with Titan Anderson between the pipes, making his 100th start for the Utah State Hockey Club. Owen Ramsey, Jack LaFontaine in front of him on the blue line, and Jack Wallace, Nolan Gifford, Teague, Pilgrim. Your starting forwards for the second night in a row. Rammers takes this one back into his own D zone. 30 seconds off the clock. It's tipped in by Ferry on an early change for Utah State. Wholesale change now as Ferry applies the forecheck, but Utah State having to get back to that left side. A big rush from Providence on the change. 45 seconds down. Pierce fires one in front of Jackson Ferry, who cancels out the icing for Utah State, but cannot control the puck. Now a 2-on-0 the other way. Here go the Argonauts. Unfortunately, a heavy touch into the zone takes him all the way back behind Anderson. Man, golden scoring opportunity, just couldn't get the pass off. A little over 60 seconds down now as Jensen chips through center ice for Sanborn. Sanborn fires off the chest of Fines. Sent back out into neutral ice, picked up by Braden Mooney fresh off the bench. Mooney to his left, pick up by Pierce. Pierce into the corner, up the wall for Baum, fires one in from deep, looking for a tip from Reese Bynan. A little too high on the hands for Reese. Deflected out on a centering pass. This is going to go all the way back behind Titan Anderson. No ice. Baum found a dead spot back there behind Anderson. He'll play catch and receive it again. Down the left wing, Bynan puts one right into the path of DJ Freegang, who scored the opener last night for Utah State. Freegang circles far side. All the way up to the blue line, has that stick lifted and loses the puck into the corner. Bynan taken down as he tries to get there. Nice backdoor pass for Pfeiffer. Rebound opportunity on the other side. Kicked away by Fines. Oh, a big hit on Freegang. That puck comes loose off the shoulder of Chris Fines. Handed down by the Argonauts. Picked up by Ramsey. Pfeiffer again. Sauce to the trail man in LaFontaine. Could not get a clean shot. 17:38 to play in the first. Aggies cycle back into the zone from the neutral ice. Tipped in by Freegang. Bynan on the chase. Fired right back out by Providence. This will be an icing as LaFontaine follows it all the way back. No, they waved that off for whatever reason. And then LaFontaine has his pocket picked in the D zone. Pass out front. Dangerous opportunity for the Argos. Again, not able to get a shot off. LaFontaine back up the wall for Freegang. Freegang in a double team, trying to get that away from danger. Fired towards Anderson, and he will cover this up with 17:07 to play in the first. Ramsey and LaFontaine will stay out there. Gifford going to be on the dot for Utah State with Pilgrim. And Jack Wallace out there. Wallace, the hero 2 nights ago, with a buzzer beater overtime winner. 1.2 seconds on the clock when that thing found the twine. And a 2-1 win over Montana State. Scary defensive loss there for Utah State off the faceoff win. Now a long shot comes in. It's kicked away by Anderson, and Gifford has the rebound. Wallace across center ice, fires it in off the skate of an official. Chipped back into the neutral zone. LaFontaine to his right for Wallace. Wallace again, backhand flipped up. Doesn't go far. Into the corner on the near side. Stretch pass. Tipped by Bogan, but it gets through. 2-on-2. Pass across the crease. Does not find the stick cleanly, and Fabian Vick can't get a shot off once again. Now here goes Giff. 3-on-2 for the Aggies. Bogan settles and shoots off the skate of his mark. Around the wall, goes off the skate of a different official. Gifford bodied up in the corner and loses the puck. Stretch pass to the near side, gets past the Argos. It'll be an icing. Intended for Husley, a little too far out in front of him, and then took an aggressive bounce forward. 16:04 to play in the first period. Still 0-0. The Aggies are going to be off to the right, it appears, of Chris Fines. Pierce Ferry, Sanborn, your forwards out there for Utah State. Tate Jensen and Garrett Bogan on the blue line. Pierce slats that over to Sanborn. Sanborn trying to get to the corner, lost the puck. Fight for it along the near side wall. Husley comes away with it. Kicked by Pierce in the neutral zone, kept alive by the Argos. They lost it for a second, and then shot goes wide left. Ferry poking at the blue line, trying to break himself into the neutral ice. Lost the puck again. It finally does spill over the blue line. It'll be dumped back in on the delayed offside. Bogan out of the glove of Anderson. Finds Zach Pierce, who tries to play him down the wall. A little too close quarters there with that Argonaut defense. Dumped in past the red line. Fines will watch that bounce. It'll be picked up by one of those Argo assistants. Constant down that left wing. It gets through to Anderson. He kicks that dead, and Pfeiffer quickly out of the zone. Now Reese Bynan getting around the corner. Bynan picks up a body, tries to drop that off. Freegang gets there. Now Pfeiffer under pressure, takes a bump, still in the corner. Bynan trying to get back to it. Ends up on the opposite side. Over skated by the Argos, allows Pfeiffer to get back into it. Bynan back to Pfeiffer on the turnover. And then that pass goes nowhere, directly onto the stick of Taunton. Big hit in front of the Aggie bench, tipped into the zone, and Utah State will go off for a change. Freegang and Bynan both headed to the bench. Near side with speed down the right wing, dumped in and around the corners. Jamming for it on the far side. 5 different bodies as that thing goes towards the blue line. Kept alive by the Argos and dumped into the safety netting in the corner. 14-11 to play in period number 1. It is still 0-0, and Titan Anderson will keep an eye on this faceoff off to his right. Starting line out there for Utah State right now: Jack Wallace, Nolan Gifford, Teague Pilgrim. Chippy night last night between the Aggies and the Grizz. Nice to see Teague eligible for play tonight. He's going to get that back into the neutral zone for Jack Wallace, who's got a lot of speed, gets past one stick, and he's going to end up in the near side corner. Centered one for Teague Pilgrim, who was a little far behind the play for that puck. He is going to apply the pressure at the neutral zone, get it back for Utah State to the near side for Baum. Fires off the back wall. Mooney on the opposite side. Mooney through the center of the ice, not touched by Wallace. This will be an icing, and we're going back the other way. 13:43 to play in the first. Looks like it's going to be Darnell Glasgow, on the dot for Providence, across from Nolan Gifford. Whistles on the faceoff as Gifford won it. And, of course, it's the official farthest away from the faceoff. So we'll do it again. Giff wins it again. Picked up by Baum off the wall and into the neutral zone, but this is going to be waved off. Aggies are going to get away with one there. That had plenty of pace to be called on ice. 13.5 to play in the first period. Long pass down that left wing goes off of an Argo body, and it's recovered by Utah State. To Ramsey on the near side. Could not collect cleanly, though. Now he's going to have to fight for it on the wall. Jammed away from him, and Utah State will break the zone. Great pass to Ferry. One-on-one the other way. Ferry into the corner. Going to wait for some help. Now a great centering feed to Sanborn, and a glove save from Chris Fines. Aggies moving the puck well in that offensive zone early in this one. Just under 7 minutes played at the Eccles. 0-0 between the Aggies and the Argonauts. Sanborn, Pierce, Ferry left to right for Utah State's forward line. Face-off is won in the D-zone by Providence. Friedrich down the right side, looking for Husley on the wall for some help. Going to be bodied off the puck. And now Pierce back into the neutral zone. Pressure behind from Husley. Gets it forward for Ferry. Ferry dragging through one. Can't get back to the puck on the other side of the body. It's covered by Fines. Will go off to his right. 12:45 to go in the first. D-line change for Utah State as Bogan and Jensen will come back on. Pierce chops that back to Bogan. Bogan given space, threw one on, looking for a tip. That goes off the skate of Friedrich, who was right in front of him. Has to feed it back into Ferry, who tried to chip into the zone. That was blocked right on the blue line. Argos cycle back the other way, but Sanborn kicks it on the center line. Aggies have it once again. Stretch past Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer with speed to his left for Ferry. Jackson's shot sticks down. Rebound opportunity goes out in front of the net. Jensen wanted it. He leaves it for Bogan. Garrett to the far side corner, centering for Ferry. Bogan gets hit hard in that corner as he gets the pass off, and now we're going the other way as the Argos get a stick to it. Fired back behind their own net to the near side. Again, interception by Utah State in the neutral zone. They've been dominating that section of the ice at home this weekend. Bogues will have to dump in as the Aggies check up. 11:40 remaining in the first. Freegang missed on the hit there. Pfeiffer in to help with the forecheck. Stretch pass a little too far out in front of its intended target. And now Freegang with speed. 3-on-2 for Utah State. To the near side for Pfeiffer. Can't settle it. Good stick defense from behind. That was number 26 for the Argos, Elliot Vanini. And Providence is going to ice the puck with some extra pushing and shoving on Sam Pfeiffer. Vanini with a couple shoves to the back as Pfeiffer says, hey, what did I do? Our first bit of chippiness in this one, 11:17 to go in the first period. A couple voices in the crowd calling for a whistle there too early to send a guy to the box for a little love tap. Off to the left of Chris Fines, Reese Bynan in the circle for Utah State. Wins it straight back to Pfeiffer. Shot through traffic, does not make it to the net. Bynan circling the net to the near side. Nice centering feed is knocked down right in front of Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer goes down to the ground, but is back up quickly now to the far side. Mooney off the wall. Pfeiffer under a double team trying to find Mooney again as he trailed towards the crease. Good hands on the far side from Freegang. Keep this thing alive. Picked up by Pfeiffer. Reese Bynan shot off the skate of an Argo. Another shot just missed left. DJ Freegang was trying to go bottom left corner there and almost beat the leg of Fines. Just couldn't get it on target. Now Baum under pressure. Lost a skate in the D zone. Now Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer past the D. Pfeiffer drops it off for Reese Bynan. Bynen's going to have to go behind the net for Pfeiffer, who tried to go back between the legs for Bynan. They were not on the same page, but it was a good idea from Sam. Cross-ice dump in front of Ramsey as he tries to cut back behind Anderson and comes away with the puck. Jack Wallace now. Drops off for Bynan. Bynan, big bump on the wall. Argos with speed down the right wing, 2-on-2. And enough done there by Wallace to poke that out into the neutral zone. Nolan Gifford the other way with speed. His shot forced wide off some stick-to-stick contact. Down to Wallace right in front of the crease. He could not get the shot off. And now the Aggies are going to get called for a trip here on Owen Ramsey. No argument from him as he skates to the bench. Trying to sweep for the puck there and just went through the shins of the opponent. Your first penalty of the night is a 2-minute minor on Owen Ramsey for a trip. 9:52 to play in the first. On the dot for the Argos to start this face-off and the power play. It's going to be Darnell Glasgow. Off to his right is Daniel Taunton. Husley on the blue line for the Argos, looking for a shot from deep. Mooney gets to the face-off win for Utah State. Now Jensen from behind his own bench nearly takes out a head in the crowd, but does find the glass, and the Aggies clear on the first bit of asking. Now down the left wing, Utah State backing into the D zone. Speed from Providence. They'll stop in that corner and go back up to the blue line. Behind the net to the near side, all the way up to the blue line. Constant looking for a shot. Nice block right in front of him by DJ Freegang. Husley to the far side, and that's a goal. Excellent power play execution for Providence, and Anderson gets beat to the far post. Backdoor cutter is unattended, and it's the captain for the Argonauts. That's number 13, Colby Friedrich, with your opener, 1-0 Argos. Assist will go to Chavez Constant. And a good start for the Argos. Aggies have not spent a lot of time trailing on this ice. 9:05 to play in the first. It'll be Sanborn, Pierce, Ferry back out there. Caleb wins the faceoff for Utah State. LaFontaine had a hard time with it, though. Pierce comes in to help him. Ramsey through the neutral zone looking for Sanborn. Sanborn swats it into the path of Jackson Ferry, who will pick it up in the corner. Still on that far side wall. Ends up behind the goal line. Scooped out by Providence. And with a little help, they will get away from that forecheck. Stretch pass through the middle of the ice is going to be on frame, no icing. Ramsey picks it up, goes opposite side. LaFontaine down the right wing for Ferry. Heavy touch from Ferry, almost lost possession there, but gets it away, and Gifford throws it forward for Pierce. Gifford lost a skate, took a dangerous bit of contact, but he pops up immediately, and Pierce is dispossessed on the far side. Wrapped around the boards, Logan Baum keeps it in. Baum back down for Gifford. Gifford centering. Pilgrim almost had a shot, couldn't get the stick down. And we've got a whistle now from Fraley on the far side. Not quite sure what the call is here, as that was a live puck. Fraley standing in front of the Providence bench and not allowing them to make a change, and now we understand why. It's a six-man on the ice for Providence. Aggie power play brought to you by Monster Energy with 8:05 to go in the first period. It's going to be Elliot Vanini sitting for the Argos. Aggies just gave up that power play goal. Let's see if they can respond. Ferry to take the face-off for Utah State. Throws it between the legs of his opponent, but the Argos get there first. Sanborn to the second puck. Caleb Sanborn waiting in the corner. Leaves it for Ferry. Pierce down to Ferry. All the way across for Pfeiffer, who had an open net on the near side. Just couldn't get his stick down in time. LaFontaine back to Pfeiffer. To Ferry, walking it across the goal line. Backdoor for Pierce. Can't keep it on frame. Misses wide right. Again, Ferry circling to the front of the net. Blue line for Pfeiffer. Thought about a shot, finds LaFontaine instead. Back to Pfeiffer, left side. Finds Ferry on the goal line. Ferry walks to the opposite side of the net. Right into the middle for LaFontaine. He didn't expect that pass to come in. Now he's looking for the shot. Over to Pfeiffer. Quick cross-ice pass for Pierce. Back to LaFontaine. One-time shot into the chest of Fines. He cannot corral it, and it comes loose for Ferry behind the net. Pierce again. Back to Ferry in that far corner. Ferry wrapping around the net. Off the wall near side, Pfeiffer. 50 seconds remaining on the Monster Energy power play. Pierce down the wall on the far side, walking it in. Nice pass for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer gets the shot off, deflects off the leg of an Argo, and does not make it to Fines. Around the wall to the near side, 35 seconds left on the power play. LaFontaine keeps it alive. Thought about the pass for Pierce, finds Ferry instead. Ferry looking for Zach Pierce, intercepted and cleared by the Argos. They'll get a change. 25 seconds left on the power play as LaFontaine skates back to collect. Oh, bad touch from Anderson, almost gave it away. LaFontaine picks up the pace and gets it away from danger. It was Friedrich applying pressure down a man for Argos. Baum. Freegang near side. Into the middle, looking for Reese Bynum, too far in front of him. And the kill is successful for the Argos. Big hit behind the net as a helmet comes loose. And we're going to have this play whistled dead, so that player can go back and retrieve his helmet. It was number 5, Caleb West. Still 1-0 Argos after a successful kill. 5:58 to play in the first. Really good power play look for Utah State there. Spent basically all of that power play, saved 20 seconds in the O-zone and got a couple shots off, but it's that last pass in front of the crease, and a tendency Utah State has to make one too many passes in those situations. Didn't really see it there, but not able to beat Fines on a couple good looks, and Chris Fines is looking good early on for Providence. Neutral zone face-off on the Providence bench side of the ice because that is where the play was whistled dead. At least that's where the puck was when the whistle came in. Won by Husley. Argos trying to go left wing. They'll dump it in over the red line, and Bogan's going to be the first one there. Sweeps it up the near side wall for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer into the middle for Freegang, who knocks it loose. Gets it back from Reese Bynum. Now Freegang 2-on-1 has Pfeiffer. Can't get the pass off. Excellent defense, but does get it back. Freegang going towards the net. Fines makes the save on a slow roller. Argos the other way, 2-on-3. Past one, Freegang gets his stick in there and slows down the play. Aggies back to the neutral zone. Here's Jensen. Dumps it in. He'll chase it in. Bynum and Freegang back to the bench. Pfeiffer's going to keep this alive, though, for Utah State. Centering for Gifford. He lost it behind, and now a dangerous rush. 3-on-2 the other way for Providence. Friedrich chips around one, but Bogan cleans it up on the back end. And now here goes Teague Pilgrim. Pilgrim, 3-on-3. Tries to go left for Pfeiffer. It's swatted away from him, and that puck is flipped out into the crowd. 4:55 to play in the first. It'll be offensive zone faceoff for Utah State. Pilgrim, Gifford, Wallace, the three up front for Utah State. Baum and Mooney on the blue line. Argos win that D-zone faceoff. Under 5 to play now in the first period. Aggies trailing by 1. Some speed and some really good passing for Providence, keeping them in the lead early on. Aggies will clear the zone. This is not going to be enough for an ice, though. Scooped up with 4:35 to play in the first. Clearance attempt goes off of an Argo. Jack Wallace keeps it in and tries to find Ferry in motion, but cannot get it on him. Chipped out to Baum. Baum fires off the wall. Wallace and Ferry checking up, and now they'll be able to chase this in after getting a touch to it. Wallace gets nailed down there in the corner, pops up quickly. Physicality really starting to turn up late in the first period. Sent around the glass. Braden Mooney picks it up behind Titan Anderson. Mooney. A couple good strides. Sanborn onside now. Keeps it moving for Mooney to pick it up in the corner. Back up the wall. Ramsey fires it the other way and intercepted. Now a stretch pass to the near side. Sanborn throws the body in the way. Keeps that pass away from Titan Anderson. Here goes Mooney now. 3.5 to play in the first. Mooney up the left wing. Away from one. Chips in, and he's going to be called back to the bench. Aggies trying to keep that alive. Overskated by Reeves. Now a 2-on-2. Argos the other way, make it a 2-on-4 as the Aggies recover well. Poked by Anderson as that pass comes across the blue paint. And again, Utah State clears the zone. This is going to be an ice. 3:07 to play in the first. We're going the other way. 7:46 local time. Early goal for Providence from Colby Friedrich on the power play. The assist from Chavez Constant. Argos with an early 1-0 lead. Just how you want to start on the road, especially in a barn that has been it's really a hot or cold night for Providence when they're here in Logan. They're either really good or they really struggle. So far, it's been really good. Fired in towards Anderson off the face-off win. Easy save for Titan. We'll go right back to the same spot with 3:04 to play in the first. Wholesale change for the Aggies. They'll be Freegang and Walton back on the ice. Aggies cannot get to that face-off. Friedrich comes away with it. Now a great pass for Husley right into the chest of Anderson. Another good save for the Aggie goaltender. Let in that one on the power play. Just got beat by a really good cross-crease pass. Otherwise, making a couple good stops for Utah State as they finally come away with the D-zone face-off win. It's chipped in by Revo, and they're just going to wave off the icing here as he was right on that red paint. Argo goes down in the corner on his own, and the Aggies are going to be able to fight for this thing. Can't come away with it, though, as Revo also lost a skate. Kicked down by LaFontaine. Leaves it in the zone for now, and Reeves will get back on the forecheck. 2.5 to play in the first period. To Husley on the near side. Forced back in, takes a hit from Freegang. Puck does get to the neutral ice. Friedrich forward behind his intended target. That's tipped in by Vic. Up the wall looking for Husley. Freegang in there to cause some chaos. Almost gets a shot on Anderson, but they can't do it. Pass to center ice behind Bynan. Freegang picking up the speed down the left side. Gets around the corner on the goal line. Centering pass is knocked down right where it started. Cleared back out of the zone by the Argos. This will be an ice on Providence as Anderson lets that thing fly past. 1:50 to play in the first period. We're going back down into Chris Fine's territory. Saldana out there for the Aggies right now. He's going to take the face-off. Good to have him back on the ice this weekend after being out of the lineup for a couple weeks for Utah State. Face-off win by the Argos in the D zone. Puck takes an awkward hop off the wall, but we've got a 2-on-2 the other way, and speed. Nice stick block from Tate Jensen forces this one into the safety netting. We'll come back to the left of Titan Anderson with 1:38 to play in the first period. Freegang ties up his man on the faceoff, allows Pfeiffer to come in and get it, but Pfeiffer does not clear it. That puck is still loose in front of Anderson, back to the blue line. Near side shot comes in from distance and into the safety netting behind the net. The Aggies disorganized in the D zone again in this first period. It's been an issue this weekend. 5-man change for the Ags. Baum and Mooney back out there. Pilgrim, Gifford, Wallace, the other three. Aggies win the faceoff. Mooney will skate to the near side with it, and again, just not able to clear the zone. Good hit from Wallace on the boards. Argos still have the puck. Quick shot from right in front of the goal, and a nice move out in front as Anderson cannot secure it. Adam Husley makes it 2-0 Providence. Defensively, Utah State not looking great early on. Minute 16 remaining in the first period. Early deficit for the Aggies. They trail by 2 for just the second time on their home ice this year. Sanborn wins that faceoff, but dispossessed right away. Down to the left side as LaFontaine tries to put his man in the Aggie bench. Had to skate away before he got whistled. Good shot block by Ramsey with 60 seconds left in the period. Centering pass again, just pushed far left of Anderson. And a nice pass back to the near side. Off the chest of Anderson, gloved down by the Argos. Pass up to the blue line, escapes the zone as Friedrich got caught on a bad angle. Stretch pass through the center is taken in really well by Vic. Scooped up after some help on the far side and a glove save by Anderson with 36.6 to play. Puck control and communication for Utah State right in front of their own netminder has been an issue this weekend. Comes back to bite them again late in the first period. They trail 2-0, and that's what can happen when that rebound comes out right in front of the crease. Another good save by Anderson, but another rebound given up and another goal by Providence. 3-0 Argos with 31 seconds left in the first period, and this one's getting ugly. Nicholas Demchuk with the goal that time for Providence. That didn't take long at all. And again, the Aggies just not really sure what to do in front of their netminder. Freegang trying to swat that one through the legs of his man on the dot. Argos come away with it. Up the ice and tipped in by Husley. Jensen will get there first, and he fires around the boards to the far side of the ice. Kicked at by Bynon. 12 seconds left in the period. Swatted down in the D zone by Utah State. Husley is down and slow to get up, but he will be okay as he heads off to the bench and asking questions. Now we've got an issue as a late hit comes in. Tate Jensen gets thrown into the corner after the buzzer by Fabian Vick. Ugly period for Utah State. 3-0 after the first 20 minutes and just looking messy in their defensive zone. We'll see what the locker room talk is from Eric Gierloff during this first intermission. When you come back, time for the second period, 3-0 lead for Providence, controlling this game just like they did in Great Falls a few weeks ago. I'm Stockton Jukes with you on Utah State Hockey. We'll be right back for the second period. Welcome on back into the George S. Eccles Ice Arena. Stockton Jukes with you for Utah State hockey, and it was all Providence in that first period. 2 quick goals in the last 2 minutes of the period have the Argos up 3-0 as we head into the third. Your goals from Adam Husley, Colby Friedrich, and Nicholas Demchuk. Chavez Constant with the reported assist. Still waiting to hear the official scoring report on some of the other assists on those late goals in the period, but Utah State having a hard time in their D zone, cannot break out into the neutral ice. Tough passing, lack of communication, opening up a lot of doors for Providence. And then a couple spilled rebounds by Titan Anderson as well late in that first period opened the door for rebound goal-scoring opportunities. Just about to get our teams back out on the ice. We've got a fresh sheet of ice out there as the clock counts down from our first intermission. Utah State has been in this kind of a position before. They have trailed by multiple goals on home ice. Forced that game in particular that we're thinking about from 2 weeks ago into overtime, into a shootout. Lost it 1-0 in the shootout, but 3-goal deficit, not really too scary for Utah State. Unfortunately, it comes early, and they're going to have to come out very strong in the second period, to keep this one from getting out of hand before we do get to that second intermission. Samuel's still in the ball cap for Utah State. They are going to have Titan Anderson stay in the crease coming into the second period. Samuels is the backup tonight. Ryan Wallen not dressed for Utah State. Had a lights-out performance against Montana State on Thursday night, leading the Aggies to that 2-1 overtime victory with a couple killer saves late in the last frame. We switch ends now for the second period. Aggie's going to be shooting down to our right. Argos shooting to the net to our left. And the officials are talking a little bit before we get this period started. There was a late hit on Tate Jensen down in the corner to our right at the end of the period. Came in from Fabian Vick. No penalty has been put on the scoreboard. No one's been shown to the box. I'm not quite sure that we'll see a minor penalty put on Providence, and it looks like, yeah, we are just going to get back to even strength hockey. The hit from Vic just right on the buzzer. Yeah, maybe didn't hear it. Just trying to play through the buzzer. Can't get too mad at a guy for playing hockey. Providence 1 for 1 on the power play this evening. Aggies 0 for 1 on their one power play this evening as well. And the Aggies, actually, matter of fact, this season they've looked better on the kill than they have on the man advantage. They struggle to build out of the D zone. And those struggles have leaked into even strength play as well. We saw it a couple times late in the first. It's taken a while for us to drop the puck here as the officials are just kind of skating around for a minute. And now we will finally get face-off to open period number 2. The Argos win that one, and they've taken advantage of momentum on the circle, winning the majority of face-offs early in this one. On the near side wall in the neutral zone, Gifford trying to fish that out and move it up the ice. It's going to be dumped in by Providence, and Ramsey will chase it back behind Anderson. Pilgrim kicks that one onto the blue line. It's kept on side by Husley. Again, Pilgrim kicking at that thing. It does bounce into the neutral zone, and the Argos will have to check up. That puck bounces over the stick of Ramsey. And Ramsey just lost it. Given away in a bad spot in the D zone once again by Utah State. Cross-ice pass right on top of the zone, and a glove save by Titan Anderson. Becoming a bigger and bigger problem for Utah State as the minutes pass. That D zone possession. 19-14 to play in the second period. Still 3-0 Argos. They'll have a face-off off to the right of Titan Anderson. Argos win it, but good body play from Garrett Bogan. Frees that puck up. Bounced out to the blue line for Ferry. Heavy touch from Ferry, though. It's dumped back in by Providence. To the wall, Jensen looking for Ferry. Gets it past the blue line, not very far. Fired up straight into the air. Sanborn finds Jackson Ferry now, and he skates to the far side and dumps it in. 18:50 remaining in the second period. Early on in this one, and Providence is all over Utah State. This is coming all the way the other way, but it's not going to be enough for an ice. Bogan gets away from a flying stick. Now has speed up the left side. Zone entry and a quick shot. Knocked down by the glove of Fines. He didn't come up with it cleanly. The Utah State forecheck gets to work. Ferry on the far wall. Pinned up along that wall. Sandwiching that puck in along the boards, waiting for some help as Sanborn tries to get in there and poke it free. Deep into the zone now for the Argos. They come away with that puck and switch sides quickly down the left wing. Stretch pass tipped in off the body of Tate Jensen. Skated in now, gets past the last D-man. Handling towards that back post, can't get the shot off. Pass up top in the zone again. That shot blocked by the body of Bogan. Rebound opportunity comes free. Pass into the center of the ice, and that's jammed home as Anderson is out of the crease. Pfeiffer with a huge hit as Titan Anderson got out of position. It's 4-0 Providence, and Utah State in shambles on defense. Elliot Vanini with his first goal of the night. Pfeiffer's getting shown to the box as well for that late hit. It's going to be 2 minutes for roughing on him and an Argo power play fresh off the goal. Because that hit came in after the goal, it wasn't a delayed penalty score, and the power play will still come the Argos' way. Tough break for Utah State. Argos back to work with the man advantage. Circling to the far side, right onto the stick of Friedrich. To the near side, Husley. Just outside the circle, he'll walk back behind the goal. Pass off the wall. Distance shot. Again, a rebound spilled by Anderson and sent over the crossbar. LaFontaine with a little extra business after the shot. Darnell Glasgow just missing the frame, had a wide open Cajun. Titan Anderson is not looking great between the posts for Utah State tonight. Struggling to stay in position. Minute 33 remaining in the power play for Providence, their second of the night. Another face-off win. Aggies can't poke it out of the zone. Friedrich has it on the blue line, goes cross ice for Husley. His shot into the chest of Anderson. And Titan will kill the play with a minute 25 left on the power play. Aggies will change the forwards. Friegeg and Bynan going off, replaced by Pilgrim and Wallace. Blue line again, cross ice to the near side. Bad reception and into the neutral zone off the stick of number 19, Chavez Constant. Does have a point tonight already for the Argos. 65 seconds left to kill as Teague Pilgrim wins that back in the O-zone. It's dumped in by Wallace. Awkward bounce off the wall and scooped up by Friedrich. Friedrich, a couple swats in the neutral zone. Husley can't control it. Offside called on the Argos as Friedrich just a little late to get that back over the blue paint. Neutral zone faceoff right in front of us with 53 seconds left on the power play. .16:48 to play in the second period. Early second period goal for Providence. This one's been all Argos this evening, and Utah State struggling in their defensive zone. Another face-off win for the Argos. They go near side. Vanini takes a big bump from Bynan, but does get the pass into the zone. Away from pressure, Demchuk back to the blue line, now across the line, looking for a distant shot. Pass down to Demchuk. Shot comes in off his pass, but whiffed. Puck never makes it onto Titan Anderson, and Freegang pokes it into a bench. Neutral zone face-off coming right in front of one of our benches. I think it'll be in front of the Providence bench. Yes, it will. 28 seconds left for the Aggies to kill. They trail by 4. Desperately needing a goal in the next couple minutes just to keep themselves in it. Under pressure in the D-zone. Bad spill, almost put home off that far post. But a great last-second save from Chris Fines as Freegang had the best opportunity of the night for Utah State. Now Reese Bynum cycling back into the zone, has it poked off the stick. Wraps it around the wall to the far side. No one home for Utah State, and Ramsey's got to back up to play defense. Offside is going to be called. It looked like Vic just lost the handle over the blue line. 15:53 to go in the second period. Aggies back to full strength. First successful kill of the night, and a little momentum they can hope to use moving forward. Mooney now back to Baum. Trapped in their D zone. Bad pass again along the blue line, walking it in and scoring. Providence taking advantage of terrible defense from Utah State. It's Stanislav Struthers this time, and it's 5-0. 5 different goal scorers for the Argos. A nightmare at the Eccles for the Aggies. And it's really just no way around it. The Aggies are playing horrible hockey in their defensive zone. Couple bad spills from Titan Anderson on rebound opportunities that have been converted for Providence, and that one, unfortunately, a familiar example of bad passing on the blue line for Utah State. Bynum's stick goes flying as it gets jammed up. Providence trying to clear. They shoot right into the chest of Titan Anderson, and he'll cover this one up. He's frustrated down there. He looks a little bit rattled, too. That one might have caught his solar plexus and knocked the wind out of him. Cale Samuels still has the baseball cap on the bench as Anderson gathers himself in the crease. LaFontaine flipped up towards Freegang, over his head. All the way around the boards to the far side, picked off by Ramsey. Can't follow it into the zone as Pfeiffer checks up. Pfeiffer. Now here goes Freegang. Might have this one. Unintentional stretch pass centered for Bynum. He can't put it home. Good kick save from Chris Fines. Delayed penalty on Providence coming up as LaFontaine passes across the blue line. Anderson to the bench, tipped down by the Argos, and now we'll see a penalty assessed. We might have 2 with some extracurricular contact on the far side. There are going to be 2 penalties against Providence. Five on 3 for 2 full minutes coming up for Utah State. And if there is any hope of staying in this game, they got to convert here. Into the box for the Argos, number 10, Zach Fulton, and number 5, Caleb West. One of those minor penalties is going to be a slash. The other one's going to be interference. 5-on-3 hockey for the Aggies. They'll take the faceoff to the right of Chris Fines. 14:49 to go in the second period. And, man, a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3, you don't get that very often. Aggies win that face-off. Zach Pierce over to LaFontaine across the blue line, back to Jack. Zach Pierce near side, one-time kick save, Chris Fines, and he'll trap that along the near post. 10 seconds off the power play for Utah State. They'll go to the opposite side. It's been all Argos in this one so far. A little over 5 minutes into the second period, 5-0 Providence, your score. Aggies on a 5-on-3 power play as Sanborn tries to get to it in the corner. Comes away with it, finds Pierce. Pierce skating towards the center of the ice. Thought about the shot, goes Ferry, backdoor, off the shoulder of Chris Fines. What a great push across save there at the last second. Again, Pierce moving left this time. Quick shot. Blocked down by the Argos. LaFontaine at the point. Back to Pierce. Takes his spot. Now goes far side. Right back to Zach Pierce. One-time goal! Zach Pierce finds Twine, and the Aggies have a little bit of life. (5-1) Utah State gets one power play goal, cuts the lead down to 4. A man will stay in the box for a minute 23 for Providence, and it's 5-on-4 hockey now. That's step one for Utah State. They're not out of it quite yet. Bynan down the wall. Got tripped up. We're going back to 5-on-3 for a minute 4. One of our linesmen is getting hollered at on that far side by Jamal Shaw, but Shaw got the stick in the cookie jar, and Shaw yelling at another official now. Back to 5-on-3 with 13:53 to play in the second period. A minute 4 on the initial 2-minute minor. So 5-on-3 for 64 seconds, 56 seconds of a 5-on-4 after that. Providence will do their best to hang on. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on the live stream. Apologies if you're having any video issues. We have addressed some of the Zoom problems that I'm seeing come through on the chat. Bomb at the point. Shot deflected in front of the crease. Fines is going to cover it up, and Teague Pilgrim takes a couple extra shoves there. He's going to keep John at Providence. And the Aggies are happy to try and get under the skin of the Argos now. It's really one of the only ways that they can see back into this one, and so far it's been working. The power play goal builds some momentum. It's still 5-on-3 for 53 more seconds. Free gang to take this for Utah State. Won it back to Baum. On the wall. Bynan walks it in, goes behind net. Pilgrim cycles back up to Bynan, tries to return the pass. Off the skate, Bynan picks it up. Baum at the point. Back left for Bynan, quick shot, missed left and off the back glass. This will come all the way out of the zone. 30 seconds left in 5-on-3 hockey, at which point Caleb West will be released from the box. Blue line again, Ferry across for Baum to the near side. Baum back to Ferry at the point. Back to Baum. Now behind the net. Good pass out left. Ramsey couldn't get the shot off. Now centering for Free Gang, who just missed as that puck came across the crease quickly. Baum again goes far side. Walked in by Ramsey, who scores! Right as West is released from the box, it's 5-2 with 12:47 to play in the second. Owen Ramsey, another power play goal. We'll have to see if they're going to let Shaw out of the box here, and they will. They're going to say that penalty had just barely expired in time for Providence. Aggies go 2 for 3 on the back-to-back-to-back power plays, 2 for 4 on the night, and there's life in Logan. Officials are going to talk at center ice just to make sure the clock had expired on the Shaw penalty. They will agree that it has, and I would have to agree with them, as West he had 2 feet on the ice by the time that puck hit the back of the net. 12:47 to play. It's 5-2, back to even strength now. Utah State still in this one, but they need the next couple. Free Gang sent out of the circle. Bynan will replace him, and now Fraley can feel Free Gang creeping inside the paint. Fraley's going to have some words with Reese Bynan as well. Not sure what that's about. Aggies tied up on the faceoff, but they come away with it with Pfeiffer. Nice pass through 2, finds Reese Bynan dancing across the blue line, but kicked away from him. He chases back as Shaw clears along that back wall to a teammate. Tipped down behind the red line. This will be an icing on Providence, and the Aggies will go back into the offensive zone with 12:25 to play in the second. Another late hit, that time on Bogan, as Jensen just kind of lost his skates and ran into the back wall. Awkward patch of ice back there as Tate Jensen's asking him to fix it, and the ref's not listening to him. Looks like there's something on the ice, and that's supposed to be investigated by the officials as the period starts. Tate Jensen nearly got hurt because of it. It does look a little wet down there right behind the goal to our left. But the officials aren't going to do anything about it. 12:25 to go in the second period. Pfeiffer trying to get to that one after the Aggies poke it through the legs on the faceoff. Jensen throws a man down to keep that puck in the zone. Free gang down the wall. Bynan centering, looking for Pfeiffer. Deflected back into the neutral zone. Right through the middle, Sam Pfeiffer to the near side. Free gang chips into the area of Pfeiffer. Poked away by Fines, and a boarding call coming in on Providence. Another minor and danger on the near side wall as Jensen got hit late too. William Clark, a little too much after the whistle, and Tate Jensen's taken a couple late hits in this game now. He's not getting any help from the Zebras. In the meantime, number 2, Samuel Duhlmeyer, will head to the bench for a boarding. Excuse me, the box. 12 minutes to go in the period. It's 5-2 Utah State. 2 for 3 on the power play in this period. Looking to make it even better, and Garrett Bogan's going to go try and get a call for his boy Tate Jensen here, who, again, we've seen this officiated against Tate Jensen a lot. Tate's a big guy, a lot of speed, a lot of force on defense. And for whatever reason, they don't give him the calls he deserves because they assume that since he's a big guy, he can take it. Well, a penalty is a penalty. Apparently that message still needs to be delivered to some of the guys down on the ice. 12 minutes left in the second period. 5-on-4 hockey with Zach Pierce out there, DJ Freegang on the forward line. Sanborn going to be out there as well. Ferry on the left wing and LaFontaine on the blue line. Zach Pierce going to be the right defenseman on this power play unit. They like to play Pierce back behind the circles, and you saw why a couple minutes ago, one time from right on top of Ovi's office into the back of the net for the second time in 2 days for Zach Pierce. DJ going to take the face-off for Utah State as the officials take a while to talk about what the penalty is there. 5-on-4 action. Freegang ties up his man, poked free for LaFontaine. Now Pierce backs along the blue line, calling for it on the near side. Goes opposite side for Ferry instead. He tries to cross-ice it for Freegang. Pierce has to poke it behind the net. Aggies get to work on that Monster Energy power play. Rimmed around to the near side by the Argos. Kept in by Pierce. Pierce to the point. LaFontaine given space to walk in. Goes left for Ferry. Ferry back to the middle. Freegang one-time shot off the shoulder of Fines. Swats it all the way down the ice, and Titan Anderson will settle it in the crease. Now his pass out to Pierce on the blue line. Swaps to the left side. Now finds Ferry. Ferry makes the skate into the zone. Settles along the wall. Finds LaFontaine. Gets it right back. Some space opens up on that right side. Sanborn up the wall. Back to LaFontaine. Across for Pierce. Pierce walks it in, shoots, and a glove save by Fines off the chest. Minute 4 left on the power play for Utah State. They'll make a change. So the Aggie offense has got going. Also looking better in the passing in the defensive zone, but the key for Utah State is just don't be in the D zone. Spending the majority of the last 5 minutes to our right. Getting a couple goals out of that effort. Pilgrim pinned behind the net, swept up by Gifford. Gifford's going to go back behind net to the opposite side. Give and go with Bynan now all the way up to the blue line for Ramsey to the near side. Baum fires in, kick save Fines. 40 seconds left to kill for Providence as Baum can't hold the zone. Ramsey's going to get there first, and he'll circle back into the D zone. Gives himself some time to reset. 30 seconds left on the power play for Utah State. 10.5 to go in the second period. Ramsey to the far side, drops it off for Baum. Stretch pass. Pilgrim walks it in. Just barely onside. Fired off the back wall, looking to connect with Gifford, and whistles for whatever reason. That puck was still loose. We saw this a couple times last night. Phantom whistle once again. It's going to be Ferry on the dot for Utah State. Friedrich trying to jam that through his legs. One back to Pierce. Pierce calling for it on the blue line. LaFontaine walking it over. Goes left instead. Nice pass into the middle. Sanborn shot knocked down right in front of Fines. LaFontaine fires it up. Glove save, Chris Fines. 3 seconds left on the power play. Clock manager for Utah State let that one run a couple seconds longer. Got to be quicker on the home clock operation. And I think the refs are going to come over and talk to him about it. Should never, ever, ever be letting extra power play time run off the clock on your home ice. Yeah, they are asking him to put 2 seconds back on. 10:04 on the board, 0-4 on the power play. We're off to the right of Chris Fines. Aggie's going to get one more opportunity on the power play. Already on his feet right in front of us. That's number 2 for the Providence Argonauts, Samuel Duhlmeyer. Aggies win that one quickly, but it's jammed up in the circle, and we are back to even strength. Duhlmeyer out of the box. He'll join the defense. Quick shot, though, from Pierce is tipped right at the spot that it's taken. And the Argos might be able to break down the right side. 3-on-2 if they can move quickly. Pierce in the help makes it a 3-on-3, and a great stick block on the pass by Ramsey forces the Argos behind the net. Ramsey gets there first. Backhand chip. Kicked out to Ferry right in front of Titan Anderson, and Ferry breaks the zone. LaFontaine down the right wing. Walks it in. Awkward angle shot. Fines is going to have to cover it up. O-zone faceoff for Utah State. Free gang back onto the ice. He'll be joined by Pfeiffer and Bynan as Pierce and Ferry head off. Aggies 2 for 5 on the power play tonight after another successful kill for Providence. Bynan trying to get that over to Pfeiffer on the faceoff. Chips straight up into the safety netting, under pressure by the Argos. We'll stay on that same side as Free Gang circles back to the dot. 9:27 to play in the second. Pfeiffer has that one go through the legs on the faceoff, keeps it in the zone for now, but can't hold it. 3-on-3 the other way. Nice dance past one, but taken away by Bynan on the backside as Morris shoves a man into the net. He's going to get away with one there. Free Gang to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer shoots, awkward angle, bounces out of the glove of Chris Fines. Tate Jensen not able to put it home on the rebound. He just overskated it a tiny bit. Morris first to the puck, up the wall, doesn't have a teammate there. Argos hold the zone, shot deflected by Bynan, and it bounces over the blue line. Now here goes Free Gang, 3-on-3. DJ drops it off for Pfeiffer under contact. Pfeiffer's cross attempt is knocked down. Back to Jensen, blue line, all the way across the line for Baum. Over the crossbar, rebound to the near side. Bynan comes out with it. Jensen, blue line, back down the wall for Bynan under a double team and taken away by the Argos. Free Gang almost fishes that one free from behind. Back out to the neutral zone, and DJ will reset for Utah State to the far side for Baum. Quickly cycling back in, and Chris Fines will cover it up. Faceoff will go off to the right. 8:17 to play in the second period. Gifford to take the face-off for the Ags. Pilgrim trying to come in and take that away on the tie-up. Chip straight up into the air. Jack Wallace knocks it down. Tried to put a shot on. Argos wrap around the boards to the near side, and a huge hit from Braden Mooney is going to get whistled. They're going to call a boarding there on Braden Mooney. He was a little too far off the wall and being a little too aggressive. Mooney is furious with the call, shrugging off the official. Braden Mooney hits hard. There's been a couple times this season where he has been penalized for clean hits because they looked worse than they are, and Braden Mooney's screaming at the official from inside the box. I didn't see it. I was watching the puck, so I can't comment too hard, but Braden Mooney very unhappy about that whistle. Argos back onto the power play with 8:02 to go in the second period. Big kill for Utah State. Now Providence is getting yelled at for something on the faceoff. Couldn't quite hear what Fraley was barking down there, but Aggies come away with the D-zone win. Immediate double team on the near side as that thing flips up into the safety netting, and LaFontaine got dumped down onto the ice. Gives an extra shove for it and felt like he should have gotten the benefit of a whistle there. The Argos in full control of this one, though. They still lead at 5-2 with 7:57 to play in the second period. 1:55 on their power play. 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight are the Argos. All the way back to Husley on the blue line to the near side. Down the wall, gets it right back on the line. Far side. Back up to the blue line as Pilgrim tried to poke that free. LaFontaine gets there in the corner, and Pilgrim rifles it down the ice. 1:38 remaining on the power play. Finds out of the crease to knock it down. Constant circles behind his tender. Looking for Friedrich on the far side. Ramsey overskates it. Friedrich gets around him. Good body play by Owen Ramsey, though, from behind to get that puck loose. He chips it free. Reese Bynum knocks it down with the high stick, though. You can't do that, Reese, and he does that a lot this season. Good effort play for the Aggies, but this is going to be a neutral zone face-off, and not a bad idea from Reese. Really trying to play that in shorthanded and almost had it work out, but you just got to let that float on its own. Can't get the stick up above crossbar level. This is actually going to come back into the defensive zone for Utah State because of where that pass was played. 1:13 left to kill for the Aggies. Baum jams that along the wall after an Aggie face-off win. Has it stuck in between his skates, finally fished out on the far side. Up towards the blue line. Argos keep that thing in. Far side corner, back up the wall. Caleb West has it leave the zone on him. 50 seconds left on the power play. Now speed to the far side. Has to hit the brakes in the corner. Now all the way up to the point. Whiffed on the shot. Bynum breaks away with it into the neutral zone, and he'll circle back to allow the Aggies to kill more time. Tate Jensen near side. Fires behind Titan Anderson. 25 seconds left on the kill. Aggies need to get this out of the D zone. And they can't break the zone. Husley off the bench. Poked away by Freegang. Freegang up the wall and out of the zone, and that's what Utah State needs to do as soon as they touch the puck on the power play, not 30 seconds later. 10 seconds left on the power play for the Argos. Shaw with speed down the left wing. He's going to try and circle the net. Takes a huge hit from Tate Jensen. They both go airborne. Baum jams up a man in the corner. Aggies back to even strength as Teague Pilgrim wins it. Up the wall looking for Wallace. Wallace throws the shoulder on Shaw, who goes into the bench. 5:45 to play in the second. Stretch pass across the ice. Logan Baum's going to try and put his body in the way. Argos get to the puck, though, with Friedrich. Friedrich trying to go down the wall. Off the skate of Nolan Gifford. Aggies 3-on-3 the other way. Dumped in over the head of Chris Fines, and Gifford's going to have it off the wall. Giff trying to poke it around his man. Kicked back the other way. Chipped in again, this time by Friedrich. He and LaFontaine are not loving each other right now. Gifford again, interception in the neutral zone, off the skate of an official and into the O-zone. 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the second period. It's still 5-2 Providence. Had an opening period goal about 2 minutes into the period, but Utah State 2 power play goals since then. And the Aggies have some life, but you'd like to see them get at least one more before that third period. 3-goal lead in the third's hard to overcome. 2-goal lead, though. Most dangerous lead in all of sports. Ferry, good win. Allows Sanborn to come in and clean it up. Sanborn around the net. LaFontaine calling for it on the wall. Awkward shot off the chest of Fines, and Ramsey will hold the zone. Around the wall, Ferry causing some chaos behind the net. Pierce is going to pick it up. Pierce trying to go opposite side now. Backdoor cut for Ferry. Ferry to the point. Ramsey fakes a shot, tries to go to Pierce, and misses him wide left. Up into the air and on the near side wall. Big slash on LaFontaine. Delayed penalty coming on the Argos. High stick into the head area. This might be more than 2 minutes. And we've got some extra crap coming in now from Caleb West. Caleb West trying to stick up for his guy there as LaFontaine's calling for a 5-minute major. Into the box with no argument is number 24. Not seeing a 24 on the rod. There it is, William Clark. So the signal is a 2-minute minor for the high stick to the head area. LaFontaine having a long conversation with the linesman. But it's going to stay a 2-minute. Aggies back onto the power play with 4:14 to go in the second period. Got some help from the Cache Valley Sheriff's Department, or Cache County, Sheriff's Department, down by the visitors' box after some bad behavior from some Aggie teenagers last night. A reminder, fans, if you come to the Eccles, 2 things. Keep your head on a swivel. Those pucks can fly up into the bleachers, and they don't tickle. Second thing is be respectful, please. We've had some issues with people getting bans with some disrespectful behavior to opposing teams, and that's not the example and the culture we want to have here at the Eccles. So excited and grateful to the Cache County Sheriff's Department for sending us some help over by the benches and deterring some of that bad behavior. For the most part, though, great fan base here at the Eccles. The Aggies have a very loyal fan base, and they're loud. They're chippy. They like to chirp. But we try and keep it as respectful as we can. Back behind the net. Pierce calling for it on the blue line. He gets it now up the wall. Monster Energy power play for the Aggies, their third of the period. Long shot from LaFontaine. Got tipped in front by Sanborn, but a good save by Fines off the tip. Under 4 to play now in the second, 1:41 on this Aggie power play. And again, a third goal for Utah State would go a long way going into the intermission. Friedrich across from Sanborn, who gets tied up. Aggies come away with it. Across the blue line, LaFontaine into the circle, backs out. Finds Pfeiffer at the point. Sam walks it in. Back to LaFontaine, left side. Right on top of the crease for Sanborn, swatted away at the last second. LaFontaine looking for the roof there, goes over the crossbar, comes out to Pierce on the near side. Back to Jack at the point. Far side, Pfeiffer a little too far in front of him. Does get a touch off, though, and Ferry receives the pass. Fired out right in front of the feet of Sanborn as he had an opportunity on the doorstep. Quick change for Providence, and they're going to up the forecheck here. No one home for Titan Anderson to find. Finally gets the pass off to LaFontaine. Dumped in by Jack. 60 seconds left on the power play for Utah State. Off the wall above the head of Ferry, who somehow got a stick on it. Free gang for Pierce. Back to free gang. Up to the point, was looking for LaFontaine. Split the distance between Zach and Jack. 38 seconds left on the Aggie power play. Cycling back in from the left side. LaFontaine cross ice for Pierce. Pierce gets past one. Back to Jack. LaFontaine chunks it. Tipped out at the blue line. LaFontaine swats at it. Still trying to keep it alive. Finally over the blue line. Providence gets a poke on it. Through the legs, though, free gang cycling back in. Right wing, 15 seconds left on the power play. Free gang through traffic to the far side wall. Gets to it himself and is pinned up along the wall. He'll come away and untangle himself Dangerous shot from Logan Baum, tipped into the DJ Freegang. Freegang over there, if you missed it on camera, in that far side corner, DJ Freegang was giving Caleb West a little verbal action there and doing a dive motion in front of him like a dolphin, telling him to stop diving. It's a good point he makes. This isn't the swim and dive team, it's hockey. Gifford wins the faceoff. Mooney keeps it inside the blue line and has to dump it into the corner. He can't settle that cleanly. We're back to even strength. Comes out of the zone, and Mooney lost it. Fresh out of the box. That shot goes wide left of Titan Anderson and comes all the way back into neutral ice. 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Tipped in again by Providence. Mooney gets there first. Mooney had it tangled up for a second, but skates away with the puck. Goes off the glass, knocked down in the neutral zone by Providence. Now Teague Pilgrim gets in there. Teague Pilgrim lucky to get away with a trip there. Got his stick in the cookie jar. Logan Baum is going to get called for a trip here. No argument coming in from Baum. He just got his stick caught up in the wrong spot. It looked a little bit like a dive there, but that is a trip on Logan Baum, and Providence will go back on the power play with 1:39 to play in the second period. Two-minute power play after the trip is assessed to Logan Baum. Aggies win the D-zone faceoff as Ramsey tries to clear the zone but has the puck stuck between his skates. Still jammed along the wall. Pfeiffer in there. Ramsey back up the wall to try and fish it out. Aggies killing time on that wall. Finally bounces away past Owen Ramsey and cleared down the ice by Reese Bynan. 1:15 remaining in the period, 1:36 on the power play, so the Aggies will still have to kill about 21 seconds on the other end of the intermission. Pass deflected as it tried to find Caleb West at the center of the ice. Ramsey follows that puck into the corner. Throws a shoulder, gets the puck loose, and then Ramsey takes a late hit. This is going to be assessed on Providence, and they waste the power play. A late hit from number 2-6, Elliot Vanini, his second minor penalty of the evening. Some questions being asked of the linesman here, but he's not going to argue too much. Boarding is the call on Vanini. Interesting. So we'll go 4-on-4 for the remainder of the period. We'll have 21 seconds of 4-on-4, I'm trying to do math here. I've never been good at math. We'll have 21 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey on the outset of the third period. And then the Aggies will have a 42-second man advantage power play. Back into the O-zone for Utah State after that minor penalty against Providence. Freegang is tied up on the dot. Argos try and clear the zone. Wallace forces that puck straight up into the air, though. And now Husley with speed. Adam Husley to the far side. His shot blocked by the stick of Owen Ramsey. Freegang can't get to the puck. Friedrich now around the net to the near side. 39 seconds remaining in the period. Oh, what a nice move from Colby Friedrich. Works himself free, working down towards the net. Tried to roof it. Goes way over the head of Titan Anderson with 32 seconds left in the period. Off the safety net will come back to the right of Titan. 32 seconds again remaining in the second period. It's 5-2 Providence. 4-on-4 hockey for the second time tonight. Second time this period. 53 seconds left on the trip on Logan Baum. 1:35 left on the board on Vanini. Oh, good move. Off the draw. Fabian Vick comes in and takes the puck away from Utah State. Anderson with a good save at the near post. Freegang softly behind his own net finds Jack Wallace. Now Wallace has to leave it behind for Freegang. 15 seconds left in the period. Aggies might have one more rush if they can get moving. Freegang Had it knocked away. Tate Jensen swatting at it. Jensen towards the center of the ice, intercepted. 5 seconds left in the period. Stretch passes going past everyone. Argos will win the race, but the period will expire. It stays 5-2. Bogan with some nice words for his man after getting the stick caught up there. Having a friendly conversation. This game has been intense. It's been physical. The Argos, though, still in control. They lead by 3 heading to the second period. Aggies with 2 big goals on the power play, but a 3-goal deficit heading to the third period. Not what you want to see. Gearloff has them halfway home. Had some nice words for him in the locker room at that last intermission. We'll see what they can do. And now we've got Jack LaFontaine going at it with Zach Fulton. They almost started punching each other right in front of the officials. They both finally do get off the ice. 40 minutes down here at the Eccles. Providence feeling good. 5-2 your scoreline in this one after 40. That was your final score in Great Falls a couple weeks ago, and the Aggies are looking for revenge. It's going to take them a heck of an effort, though. Stockton Jukes with you for Utah State Hockey from North Logan, Utah. We'll be right back for period number 3. Fresh sheet of ice when you return. Welcome back into the George S. Eccles Ice Arena for the third period between the Utah State Aggies and the Providence Argonauts. Stockton Jukes here with you from the Steve Coleman broadcast booth inside the Eccles. Team's about to be released back onto the ice. We've got a fresh sheet of ice for you, and we've got 4-on-4 hockey for 21 seconds to start the period. Logan Baum in the box for a trip for Utah State, and Elliot Vanini across from him in the box for a boarding call right at the end of that first period to take away the power play from Providence. 42-second differential between the penalties, so Utah State will have that 42-second power play early in this period. And was talking to a couple people around the arena during that intermission. Really feels like with that 3-goal deficit, Utah State's going to need to put one on the board in the first 5 minutes of this period to keep things interesting. Chris Fine's been looking really good between the pipes for Providence tonight. Made a couple good saves, got beat a couple times on the power play for Utah State, but they have not scored even strength yet this evening. Titan Anderson will come back out on the ice. He was given a lot of time to regroup by his team. Gave up that goal early in the second period. Kind of had his head hanging for the good few minutes in that early part of the period, but didn't really face a whole lot of danger after that. Seems like he has regrouped in the locker room. Utah State showing their support. And I did also talk to Alec Moser during the intermission. Moser, former player for this team. You remember that guy running around wearing number 9, throwing shoulders, knocking guys off their feet. He thinks Utah State's putting 5 in this period, and I'm inclined to agree with him. So we'll see if Moser's onto something tonight. Scotsman rains down on the ice as the Aggies have their 5 out there to start the period. It's going to be Ferry, LaFontaine, Pierce. Freegang heads off the ice as Ramsey will come in as the 4th skater for Utah State. Once again, 4-on-4 hockey. Pierce trying to poke that through the legs, opens up a 2-on-2 the other way for the Argos. Off the post! Nearly put this game to bed 7 seconds into the period. We stay level though, we stay 5-2 and level at 4-on-4 hockey as the Aggies will begin the power play now. Baum out of the box. He'll skate straight to the bench and be replaced by number 29, Sam Pfeiffer. Argos dump the puck all the way down the other way. It'll be punched out by Titan Anderson and picked up by Pfeiffer. LaFontaine calling for it on the near side. Stretch pass all the way through him. Tipped in by Ferry. Sanborn will chase into the far corner. Swatted back the other way and taken in by Pierce. Near side LaFontaine. 15 seconds left on the power play for Utah State. Chip and chase for Jack LaFontaine. Takes a bump in the corner. Puck goes straight up into the air off Caleb West. Sanborn far side. Pfeiffer. Blue line for Zach Pierce. Back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer from the point. Back to Pierce. Pierce has to kick it down to settle. Tries to shoot on frame, and we're back to even strength. 18:55 to play in the game. All the way down the ice. Anderson covers it up because he didn't realize that was going to be an icing at even strength, and Pfeiffer comes down to clear out an Argo away from the crease. 18:50 to play. We'll be down to the right of Titan Anderson at even strength. And an update for the World Series in Game 7. The Dodgers have just tied it up in the top of the 9th inning. I'm a big baseball guy. I don't know about any of you guys watching around there, but that's just gut-wrenching for the Jays. They were 2 outs away from a World Series title. 4-4. They were 1 out away. There's 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Oh, my goodness. Aggies back down the left wing with 18:40 to play in the third period. Big flip over the neutral zone. Takes an awkward bounce. It's touched down by Providence, but cleared back out by Utah State. Shaw takes a bump as he gets this into the O-zone for Providence. It'll be collected by Baum. Tries to go along that back wall. Bogan didn't realize it was coming back to him. Fished out and up the wall on the near side. Back around the wall. Bogan throws a bump in there and gets that puck loose for Baum. Baum, bad pass though. Comes over the blue line, and Providence forced to reset. Down the right wing again. Aggie double team descends on the puck. They work it free for Freegang. Middle of the ice, Pfeiffer back to Freegang, back to Pfeiffer, poked away from him Aggies will be onside as they chase into the near side corner. Bynum trying to hold his own, a little too strong for him. Pfeiffer and Freegang check up as Fines comes out of the crease to knock it down behind his own net. 17.5 to play in the game. It's 5-2 Providence. The Aggies need to get going. Big hit. Frees that puck up in the neutral zone for Utah State. Off the wall for Reese Bynum, trying to center it for Pfeiffer, and Sam didn't realize it was coming his way. Now down the right wing. Argos back into the zone. Forced behind the net. Morris swats at it. Up the wall, but stays in the zone. Long shot, nearly tipped on the crease. Tate Jensen gets his stick in there to negate that attempt. Freegang tips it in. Collected in the D zone by Providence. Just play and catch in that zone. 16:50 remaining in the game. Tipped in past Anderson. Jensen picks it up. Long stretch pass down the left wing for Zach Pierce. Zach Pierce onside. Hauled down and a penalty. A hold on a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Hauled down from behind by number 19, Chavez Constant. We'll see if this is going to be a penalty shot. It looks like it's going to be a 5-on-4 power play. 2 minutes for a hold, 16:38 to play in the game. Utah State needs to convert here. And if you're thinking about coming over to harass this guy in the penalty box, there's 5 cops over there, so I'd stay away. Ferry's going to take the face-off. Has Pierce directly behind right. Goes back that way, but it's wide of Zach Pierce. He's going to have to make the skate all the way back behind his own bench. Aggies' 5th Monster Energy power play of the contest. Bad pass, almost cleaned up, though, by Pfeiffer at the last second. He goes down the right wing, takes it into the zone for Utah State. Held onside. Now LaFontaine from the point, goes back for Pierce. Pierce back to LaFontaine. Has to settle and reset. Pierce circling back to the top of the zone. LaFontaine at the point. Long shot. Tipped down in front of Fines. He got a piece of it. Minute 25 left on the power play for Utah State. Just over 16 to play in the game. Back down the left side for Pfeiffer. Cross ice. Ferry into the zone. Ferry bodied along that wall. He goes down. But back up quickly. Swatted out to LaFontaine. Fired all the way around far side. Looking for Zach Pierce. Does get a poke to it and keeps it inside the zone. Jackson Ferry walks in. Dangerous opportunity. What a save by Chris Fines in 10 feet of space. Body's still kind of crowded around Chris Fines right now. Aggies trying to get a little emotion out of Providence. That's one of the ways that they really took advantage of Montana last night. And they're going to need all the man advantage time they can get in this third period. Still 57 seconds left on the power play for Utah State. 15:35 remaining in the period. Good stick check by Bynum. Almost held the zone, and now we've got an Argo down in the corner. Slowly trying to get up, and he's just going to lay there and try and kill this play as Utah State back on the attack. Now they will whistle it dead after Shaw takes it away. Duhlmeyer looked like he was going to get up for a second, but he's holding on to that right shoulder. And he may have popped that thing out on the boards as the trainer will be skated onto the ice. 15:21 left to play. Oh, no, we've got a signal now from Fabian Vick towards the official that he was tapping his left knee. So we're going to have an extended stoppage here. 15:21 to play in the period as they will tend to Duhlmeyer down in this near side corner. We're going to go ahead and take a break here for a second. We'll be right back after the injury on Utah State Hockey. Welcome on back into the Eccles. Duelmeyer just headed off the ice to the locker room, cradling that right wrist. Appears to be a broken wrist. He still had the glove on, and that thing was completely limp. Wishing him the best. We hate to see that late in this contest. Baum off the face-off to Ramsey, back to Baum. Behind the goal line now, Bynon from the near side. Centering pass, Pilgrim couldn't get his stick down. Baum pokes it away, keeps it in the zone. Spinning off the skate. Now pass to the near side for Ramsey. Flushes it behind the net. Baum will keep it in on the far side. Rifles just left of Fines, who didn't recognize the shot coming in. Ramsey over to Baum. Back on frame and misses that same distance to the left. Picked up by Bynon on the near side wall. Bynon into the middle, just missed the top right corner. Aggies back to even strength now as another successful kill from Providence is completed. Bodies flying in that far side corner, puck still on the ice. Bynon trying to fish it out from underneath the body of an Argo. Now he goes down to the ice and, yeah, there's an Argo laying on the puck. That is a delay of game. I don't think they assessed delay of game in the ACHA, though. So the Argos will make a wholesale change. 14:25 remaining in the period. The Aggies not converting on that power play. That might really hurt their chances going forward. They trail by 3 a quarter of the way through the last period. Gifford on the dot for Utah State. Tries to push it through the legs, ends up in the corner with Caleb West. He cannot clear the zone. Finally, it is cleared from way deep in the D zone for Providence. This is going to be an icing. We'll come back the other way with 14:16 on the clock. Stays 4-4 heading to the bottom of the ninth, by the way, in Game 7. Jays have a man on first with 1 out. Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers. Giff tied up on the dot again. Argos have had a lot of success that way. Left wing 2-on-3 for the Argonauts. Long shot comes in, punched away by Anderson. Up that wall on the far side, Saldana pokes it out of the zone. Another stretch pass to the right wing. Great read by Jack Wallace. Knocks it down in the neutral zone. Can't get back to it, but at least kills the play. Jensen with a big hit in the corner. Keeps that puck rolling. Now Gifford. He'll build out of the back end. Poke forward for Wallace. Wallace takes a bump, but that thing ends up behind Fines. Fires it off the back wall behind his own net. Picked up by a teammate, Caleb West, the other way. West into the zone. Followed by Norris around the net. West trying to wrap it around and jam it into the near post. Crossing attempt as he falls to the ice is picked up on the far side. Another shot blocked by the body of Norris on the far side. Into the safety netting, will stay to the right of Titan Anderson. 13-14 remaining in this one. It's going to be Caleb Sanborn to take the draw across from Adam Husley. Husley wins that one clean for Providence. Back to the blue line. They go down into the far corner. Husley will pick it up behind Anderson. Trying to drop that pass back into the back door. Logan Baum comes away with it, though. Baum through a couple skates, finds Zach Pierce on the move. Pierce cuts past one. Could not get back to the puck. Really good defense from Husley behind. Now Pierce got nailed by that dump attempt. Caught him on the right leg there. It's going to be whistled for offside on Utah State. 12:52 to go in the third period, and he's dragging that right foot to the bench. Hope he's okay. He looks to be pretty banged up. He's not putting a lot of weight on that right leg. He's going to need some attention on the bench. Not good for Utah State's leading point scorer. Center ice face-off, one to Pfeiffer, but knocked away from him immediately. Argos will build out of the back with Constant, gets past one. Chips past another, but cleaned up on the back end by Logan Baum. Has it in the corner. Off the glass to Bynan. Bynan can't clear the zone. Now Freegang frees it up for Bogan. Bogan to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer leaves it for Bogue. Bogue trying to get into the zone. Cannot get past one. Carried back in by Providence. And Pfeiffer will apply the forecheck. Stretch pass, tip down at the red line. No icing coming. Good skate from Ramsey to get in there, but can't get to the puck. It's taken away from behind him. Fired wide right of Anderson. Rebound all the way out to Bynan. Knocked down by Shaw in the neutral zone. Freed up by Pfeiffer. Finds Freegang. DJ Freegang to the left into the chest of Fines. Spills out and cleared off the back wall by Providence. LaFontaine back into danger. Chipped by Freegang and covered up by Fines. 11:48 to play in the third period. Utah State running out of time. This one at bat in this game is taking forever. Still one out, man on first, 2-2 count. Snell throws one in the dirt, fills it up. Gifford on the dot for Utah State. O-zone face-off. Aggies to the right of Chris Fines. Fines his left. Pilgrim almost had an awkward angle shot. Stick block at the last second by the Argos. Now Gifford to the near side. Can't hold the zone. Sent right back into Fines. Oh, that almost bounces home for Owen Ramsey. Aggies back on the attack. Gifford trying to poke it towards the middle for Pilgrim. Pilgrim dispossessed. Back to Gifford. Gifford waves on the pass. Picked up by Pilgrim. Wallace chases behind the net. Wallace tries to go backdoor. Ends up all the way up the wall and back behind Titan Anderson with 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third period. 5-2 Providence. That score has not changed since halfway through the second. First and second now for Toronto with still one out. LaFontaine up the wall. Sanborn as the Aggies make a change. Sanborn, lots of speed down the right wing. Drops it off for Jack Wallace. Wallace fires, took a bounce, nearly beats Fines to the near post, but misses wide, and Ramsey gets blown up on the near side wall. Rammers is down. He's not getting up. And they're going to whistle this dead as it's back into the Providence zone. Ramsey is hurt, and we're going to have the trainer back out here. .10:41 to play in the third period. We're going to take another break here as Owen Ramsey is attended to. We'll be back on Utah State Hockey. Welcome back as Owen Ramsey is helped over to the bench. He seems to be okay, just a little bit rattled up. Aggies win the faceoff in the neutral zone, and Jensen dumps it in. Sanborn's going to get tangled up back behind Chris Fines. Trying to kick it free as Ferry comes in to help. Finally does poke it free with the toe. Out towards Dylan Walton. Jensen keeps it in the zone. Walton again. Held up along that wall, fired back behind Chris Fines to the near side. Morris can't hold the zone. Holds up the Argos, though, and we're halfway through period number 3. Aggies back to the near side with Ferry. Off the skate of Caleb Sanborn, kicked into the zone by the Argos. Off the glass and back to neutral ice. Ferry off his glove, can't hold it. Adam Husley picks his pocket. Husley into the zone from the point. Shot goes wide right. Centering again, picked off by Ferry. Swatted away from Jackson. Stays inside the O-zone for Providence. And a huge reverse hit on Morris. That's experience on youth right there for Providence. 9.5 to go in the third period. Still a 5-2 lead for the Argos, and the Aggies may have left this one a little too late. To the near side now, centering pass straight up into the air off the stick of Freegang. Another deflection on a shot from the blue line. Morris cleans it up on the far side corner, but the Aggies cannot pass in the D zone right in front of Anderson. Got lucky there. Fabian Vick couldn't finish it. Now another long shot deflected in front of the crease and cleared away by Tate Jensen. Caught on the blue line, but Shaw was behind it when he caught it. Bases loaded, one out for Toronto. 90 feet away from a World Series title in Canada for the first time ever. 9 minutes remaining here, though, in Logan. The more important game of the night by far between the Utah State Aggies and the Providence Argonauts. That's why you're all tuned in. Oh, what a couple of moves from Braden Mooney. Breaks free into the O-zone for Utah State. Pfeiffer gets bumped as he helps filter that play along and finally cleared out of the zone by Providence. This is going to be an icing all the way back to Anderson with 8:35 to play in the game. O-zone faceoff for Utah State. Let's see which side they select. Do or die, though. 3-goal deficit for Utah State. It's been that way for the last 20-plus minutes of gameplay. The defense for Utah State has looked better. They've had a couple scary moments in the late second and third periods of passing. We do have an update for you on the injured player. Again, that was number 2, Samuel Duhlmeyer, that went off a little bit ago. He's out of his jersey and in a sling on that right arm. Hoping for him that it's not an extended injury and it's just a precaution there, but it did look like he broke that wrist as he came off the ice. So best wishes for Duhlmeyer and our friends in Great Falls. Pfeiffer dancing through a couple, gets to the backhand, misses wide right. Had Fines beat, just couldn't get it on frame. Centering, looking for Teague Pilgrim. Too much traffic. Freegang all the way around the D. Through the legs, keeps it alive, trying to find Pfeiffer again right in front of the crease. Has to go all the way around. Quick shot, one-time effort from LaFontaine, far side, missed wide left. All the way back the opposite way. 7:45 to play in this one. Stretch pass to the near side is tipped by Teague Pilgrim. Fines will come out of the crease to play it. Has Wallace behind him. Wallace playing nice. Not doing anything to Chris Fines. And now a 2-on-1 the other way. Dangerous opportunity. Can they put the game to bed? What a save by Titan Anderson. Bounce back save from the Aggie keeper, who had a nightmare of a first 30 minutes in this game. LaFontaine the other way. Wallace kept on the near side wall. Argos can't keep the puck on the stick, though. Aggies will be able to break the zone. Near side LaFontaine dances away from one. Comes back to the near side, trying to get past a second. Too much pressure, though. Ramsey from deep, bouncing through sticks. Gifford can't put it on the frame. LaFontaine again from the near side. Awkward angle shot. Saldana trying to tip. And Saldana will skate away from Fines without swatting at the pads there. 6:49 to play in third. Aggies trailed by 3 still. Their 2 power play goals back-to-back in the second period, the only offense to speak of so far. They've looked better as this game has gone on, but they came out of the locker room in that first period flat-footed. And the Argos managed to put 4 on them in that first frame. Kind of the inverse of what happened the last time these two teams played. It was a really close game up until about this point, at which point Providence ran away with it. They kind of ran away with it early, and Utah State's been climbing uphill ever since. Ferry back around Fine, 6:35 to play. Nice block by Saldana to keep that alive. Sanborn's going to pick it up behind the net. Sanborn to the near side. Off the wall, picked up by Saldana. Into the middle for Sanborn, too far out in front of him. Friedrich into the neutral zone, swatted back away by Tate Jensen. Sanborn onside, into the zone, into the corner. Held along the wall with help. Saldana in there to try and fish it out. He'll take Sanborn's place, and Caleb Sanborn will cycle back outside looking for that puck. Fried back behind Fines with 6 minutes to play. Long shot from behind the red line is forcing a save out of Titan Anderson are the Argos. He deals with it, though. Now Bynon clears the zone. 5:45 remaining. Friedrich, nice touch pass in for Vic. Vic has it poked away by Bynon. Oh, that's a boarding. Bad discipline on Morris there, and throws Fabian Vic into the boards from too far off. Aggies back to the kill with 5:35 to play, and that might just be about all she wrote. Long fly ball. Dodgers make the catch, colliding in the outfield. Dodgers send it to extra frames. That was 5 feet away from a walk-off home run in Toronto. My goodness. Kike Hernandez was trying to make a play on the ball. He got hit by his own center fielder. Peels himself up off the warning track after a little bit, but the hearts of the Blue Jays fans just collectively into the throats. Aggies will get to work on the kill. Minute 55 on the power play for the Argos, and some of the Aggie fans starting to see the writing on the wall as they head to the doors. Stick comes free on Caleb West. Now here goes Jack Wallace. Wallace on the doorstep trying to put it off the shoulder of Fines. He does well to trap himself along that near post. Fines may have gotten clipped by his own player there. He's sticking low to the ice. And now he'll pop up to his feet. Looked a little bit rattled up there. 5 minutes remaining in the game. 1:25 left on the Argo power play. They go near side, giving some space along the wall into the zone. Ramsey stabbing at it. Shaw off the wall and back into that near side corner. Ramsey chasing, ends up behind the net now. Vanini to Shaw at the blue line. Back to Vanini on the wall. Aggies staying close to Titan right now. Vanini shot through the legs of Ramsey, gets away from Titan Anderson, and it's cleared by LaFontaine. 50 seconds left to kill for Utah State. 4 minutes, 22 seconds remain in the contest. Aggies unfortunately took themselves out of this game in that first period with 2 late goals in the first that just deflated this building. Another bad pass on the blue line to start the second period made it 5-0 at one point in this contest. Argos passing well on the power play again. Shot blocked off the body, and a huge hit from Teague Pilgrim on Friedrich. No whistle. Pilgrim's been very physically active this weekend. He got away with a gloved punch to a face mask, and there he goes throwing another shoulder. Pass across to the near side, blocked off the shin of Tate Jensen into the neutral zone. Aggies back to even strength with 3:25 to play. Just not going to be enough time for Utah State here as we approach the 3-minute mark. Offsides the call, though, and a shot well after the whistle. That's going to draw some attention from Pfeiffer and Jensen. Pfeiffer's in there to start throwing some fists, and Pfeiffer's going to be going to the box. That's bad discipline. It's a cheap shot from Providence, and you just don't do that. It's an unwritten rule, but for Utah State trailing by 3, you can't put yourself in the box here. Pfeiffer's going to the box for roughing. He came from 50 feet away from the player to throw that extra forearm. And it looks like Providence is getting sent to the box as well. It's going to be number 10, Zach Fulton. So Fulton ends up in the box after getting caught up in that roughing. He was the one that took the shot well after the whistle. And again, you just don't do that. We've got a timeout being called now by the Aggies. They trail by 3 with 3:13 to play. We're going to have 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes of that 3:13 remaining. For Utah State over there again, just feels like they've left this one a little too late. A 3-goal deficit coming into the period, really needed to convert on that early power play that they had. And they've not been able to beat Chris Vines very many times. Haven't been able to beat him at even strength. Only 2 times on the power play in that second period. Providence has played a great game again. They seem to be the kryptonite for this Utah State team this year. Really fast, crisp passing. They move the puck so well in the offensive zone from end to end and side to side. Got an update for you as well. Zach Pierce is undressed and off the ice. So whatever he took off the leg there finished him up for the game. Hopefully just a stinger. He'll be back next weekend, we would at the moment assume. Aggies will be back home on November 8th, 1 week from tonight against Utah, 7 p.m. puck drop. Following week, the 14th and 15th, 2 back-to-back games. Oh, Anderson lets one spill there in front of Friedrich, and he does not get the shot off. Now here goes Jack Wallace the other way. Gifford gets tangled up with an Argonaut in the neutral zone. Friedrich comes in and makes a great play with the stick from behind to work that thing free. Wallace tipped in just over center ice. He'll go off for a change. .90 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey left. Vic dispossessed just over the blue line. Now down the right wing. Bomb. Awkward angle shot off the glove of the goaltender for Providence. Chris Vines not letting many spill tonight, but he lets one go there. Now here goes Vic. Cherry picking, shut down by Titan Anderson. A lot more space in 4-on-4 hockey to do stuff like that, and it was a great pass again from Providence. They've been hitting on those passes. LaFontaine's going to follow this into the zone. Gets it back for Utah State. Now Freegang zips it over to Ramsey. Cross ice for Bynan. Bynan touches it into the zone but can't corral it, and then it's up and over the shoulder of Freegang. Vic again. Swatted away on the blue line. Bynan comes away with it. Near side, Bynan stops over the blue line. Cross ice, Logan Baum. Baum walks in, takes the shot, misses wide right. LaFontaine near side, Bynan. Bynan's going to let the Aggies make the change. Nice spin. Savardian from Logan Baum over the blue line, finally hacked away by Caleb West. Almost spills out for a shot on top of the crease, and we are going to go back to 5-on-5. With 1:13 remaining in the contest at the Eccles, Providence on their way to another win against the Aggies and a 2-0 record against Utah State on the season. Aggies will lose just their 5th contest of the season. 2 to Providence, 2 to Weber, and 1 to Utah. Bomb shot into the chest of Fines is covered up with 53 seconds to play, and now we've got an Argo and an Aggie going at it. Looks like Husley got his stick held by Logan Baum. I was just trying to get it back there. Frustration from Utah State definitely late in this one. Again, been a much better back half of the game for the Aggies. They've played a lot stronger hockey in the second half of the second period and the entire third, but those first 25 minutes, just brutal hockey from the Aggies. Took themselves out of it before they had a chance to get started. Eric Gearloff, I'm sure, will talk to them about it. They'll get their heads right, and they'll get the next 6 days off. A couple guys getting banged up tonight for Utah State. That should help. And we did have confirmation in the chat, by the way, that for the Argos number 2, Sam Duhlmeyer, his shoulder did pop out of the socket there on the hit. So he was holding the wrist to hold the shoulder in place, and that's why he's in the sling, but nothing broken, just a dislocation being reported in the chat. Appreciate you guys, again, tuning in, being active in the chat. Always love it when Providence comes to town. It's always a great game, and the Argos have been all over the Aggies tonight. Looks like they're going to win by that same scoreline from a couple weeks ago in Great Falls. Taking a look at the Aggies schedule as we move forward through the next couple weeks. Not too many more opportunities to come see the Aggies at the Eccles. Jensen's going to fire in. Nice stick block right off the spot of the shot. Jensen tried to keep it onside and did not. Carried it over the blue line. So Providence will not be making the trip back to Logan this season. The Aggies, as a matter of fact, probably won't see Providence again until the Mountain West Collegiate Hockey League Championship, February 5th to the 7th. Could also see him at the Wasatch Cup at the end of January, or the Big Mountain Classic in the middle of January. But Utah State, like we've mentioned before, they're only going to have 3 home games after Christmas break, the 22nd and 23rd of January here against New Hampshire. And then Senior Day for Utah State will be February 13th against Weber State. Last second shot by the Aggies, in and out of the glove of Chris Fines. Swatted away in the near side corner, and a good idea for Caleb West. He's just going to trap the puck up along the wall and wrap this game up. 5-2 your final score. The Argonauts come into Logan and get the job done. Chris Fines with a stand-on-his-head performance, only allowing 2 power play goals from the Aggies in that second period, making a couple really good saves in the third as the Aggies scratched and clawed back into it. Rough night for Utah State, just their second loss on home ice on the season. They fall to 10-5 overall. They'll be back home in 1 week. Next game, November 8th against Utah, 7 p.m. puck drop. The following weekend, November 14th and 15th, it'll be Military Appreciation Weekend. November 14th, the Aggies will get another shot at Weber State. And the 15th, they'll host UVU, who they beat 20-2 earlier in the season. So Weber State on November 14th, that's going to be a competitive contest. November 15th, if you like goals, come to that game. Otherwise, you can tune in right here on the Utah State Hockey YouTube channel. Every home game for the Utah State Aggies this season. For everyone on the crew here at Utah State Hockey, appreciate you tuning in for another Utah State broadcast. The Aggies fall 5-2 to the Providence Argonauts. Again, wishing Duhlmeyer the best after that dislocated shoulder. Always hate to see that late in the game. And the Aggies will look to regroup in 7 days' time. I'm Stockton Juke saying go Aggies, and thank you once again for tuning in. Wishing Providence safe travels back to Great Falls, and we hope to see you all again real soon here on Utah State Hockey's YouTube channel.